Hello everyone, this is Chris with Unlimited Astrology, and today we're going to be talking about the basics of how to understand an astrological birth chart. So last time we were here, we pulled up this chart for Albert Einstein, right? And if it's the first time that you're seeing one of these astrological wheel charts, there's a lot going on, and it can be kind of hard to suss out what's what. There's these symbols and signs and lines and pie slices. What's going on here, right? So I'm going to break it down step by step so that we can start to understand what it is that we're looking at when we see one of these wheel charts. The first thing to understand is that there are three different rings of energy going on here, right? We've got these numbers in the middle. We've got these symbols in the inner ring. And then we've got this outer ring of these different symbols as well. And I'll take us through that piece by piece. So starting with the inner ring, this circle here of these different 12 numbers, what these are is that they represent the 12 different houses, the different pie slices of energy here in the chart. So you've got the first house, the second house, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. And you can tell what house a planet is in by looking at the number that corresponds to that slice of the chart. And then from there, I'm going to clear this as we go so that it doesn't get too confusing. We've also got this ring beyond. The next layer out shows the different planets. So you've got the moon here, you've got Mars here, Jupiter here, the sun and Mercury here, and so on. And it goes around, and all the different primary planets and any other points or asteroids that you want to add to your chart will show up here on this middle ring of the chart. And what you can do is you can go on Google Images or something like that and search for astrological symbols, and you'll get lots of different graphics that list off what each of these different symbols means, so that you can interpret the planets and the signs and start to learn what those different symbols represent. And then from there, the next layer out are the signs themselves. So you've got the sign of Aries up here, the sign of Taurus over here, the sign of Gemini over here, and so on. It goes all the way around all 12 signs, and it can show up in any orientation. You could have Aries be over here, Aries could be over here, but they always go in the same order. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, right? And so those are the three different alphabetical building blocks of astrology: the signs, the planets, and the houses. And out of that alphabet, you can start to actually make some sentences and create some meaning out of the chart. And we'll get to that in just a second, but I want to give you one more piece of understanding about what it is that's going on here. So when we look at this thing, how is it that we got this chart in the first place? What is it that says these planets go up here and these signs go over here? Well, what this actually is it's a snapshot in time and space of the moment that someone is born. So this line in the middle, this horizontal line, is actually the horizon. Let's put a little Albert Einstein here just for fun, right? So here's Albert. He was just born. He's new on planet Earth. And this is the moment that he took his first breath. And here he is in Germany, right? Over in Ulm, Germany. And he's standing, on the Earth, like we usually do. And from what we understand here is that this is the horizon. So this right here, the ascendant, is where the sun actually rises over the horizon. And this point over here, on the other end of the horizon, the descendant, is where the sun sets at night. So up here we've got the sky above us, and then down here we've got the sky under us, the sky that we can't see because it's on the other side of the earth. And here we are standing on the horizon, and at this time of day, right, Albert had Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, and part of Capricorn, part of Cancer up above him, up above the horizon. He had these planets up above the horizon, and then he had these signs and these planets below the horizon. So it really is a snapshot, a picture in time and space of the moment that someone is born that shows where everything was in relationship to everything else. And from that, what we can start to understand is that, so let's take a planet, right? Let's take his moon, right? So Albert Einstein has a Sagittarius moon. How do we know that? We know that because, well, that's the symbol for the moon right there. This is the sign of Sagittarius. So you can see how the moon is in Sagittarius. And it is a 6th house Sagittarius moon, right? Putting the different alphabet pieces together to make a sentence. 6th house, moon in Sagittarius. And you can do that for any other planet in this chart. You can go over here in the 10th house and see that he has a Sun, a Mercury, a Saturn, and a Venus all up here in the 10th house. The Sun is in Pisces, and Mercury, Saturn, and Venus are in Aries. And so on. You can do that sentence formation thing with any different part of this chart once you start to know and understand the different symbols of it. Now, finally, the last thing to understand are these lines, right? The red lines, the green lines, the blue lines. What's going on with that? Well, those are aspect lines, and what they do is they show the relationship between the different planets of the chart. So let's take the moon here, for example, again. A 6th house Sagittarius moon, and you can actually see that over here too. If you look at this rectangle, this table of planets, it'll show that the sun is in Pisces, and the moon is in Sagittarius, and Mercury is in Aries, right? If you just read through the list, you'll get the different signs that each planet is in, but it doesn't show the aspects the way that these colored lines do. And for that, you want to look at the wheel chart, unless you're really advanced and you can just do the math by seeing the degree numbers over here. But essentially, take this moon, right? So it's a Sagittarius moon in the 6th. And then over here, he's got a Venus in Aries. Whoops. Venus in Aries in the 10th house. And it's in, you see this blue line here? That's a trine. It says that the moon in Sagittarius is trine Venus in Aries. Why is it a trine? Because 3 trines would make a triangle. So it's a harmonious, easily flowing energetic aspect that says that this moon flows really easily and really well with this Venus, and this Venus flows really easily and really well with this moon. And that's a relationship between 2 different parts of Albert Einstein's consciousness. And there are other aspects here too, like taking that moon again, we also have this red line. Let's make it red. Red. Yep. We got this red line going from his Pisces sun to his Sagittarius moon, and that is a more challenging or frictional aspect. that is called a square. It's a square because 4 of them would make a square, right? You see, these are geometric lines that form different aspects on the chart. So this says that that Pisces sun is square to the Sagittarius moon. And that's how you can start to make sense of the lines in the middle. This one that is opposite, right? That's his Jupiter opposite his Uranus, and it's in opposition, 180 degrees. You got trines, squares, oppositions. Those are the 3 most basic aspects. And from there, there's a lot of other minor ones as well that you can learn, but we won't get into that today. But I think that that is a pretty good overview that gives you an understanding of the different main pieces of what it is that we're looking at here. The inner ring of house symbols, the middle ring of planetary glyphs, they're called glyphs, you could call them symbols as well, and then the outer ring of sign symbols. And putting all that together, you can start to make some sentences and understand what's what. You get a 6th house Sagittarius moon and a 10th house Aries Venus, and they are trine each other. And you have a 10th house Pisces sun, and it is square this 6th house Sagittarius moon, and so on and so on and so on. Every chart's different. Every chart's going to have different language to it. But this is the idea of what you're looking at and how you can start to pick it apart to understand more of what's going on. And I guess I'll just leave it there for now, and we can dig into this more later. Thanks for tuning in.